everyone, and thanks for checking out my channel. Going to have a look at WTI crude oil tonight, having a look at what happened for the past few days and what could be the plan for the coming days, keeping in mind that we're going to be still a little bit volatile in the coming days until the election. Then I'll be hoping for some more stability on the market and getting a little bit more directional. So if we look at what happened, we broke the range that WTI was stuck in between 38.5 and 41.5 last week. It was a really clean break to the downside, no revisit of the level on the daily chart, and we can see a really steep move to the downside, reaching the first target about $36 and almost getting very close to the final target I had at 34.6. As we look at the origin of the divergence pointing here, retracement to the downside, and we're looking at that area around $34-35. So we got there. Now the question is, are we setting up a bottom here, and is it time to go long a little bit more aggressively? Let's have a look in more detail. So if we look on the 4 hours, zooming in, we can see a clear loss of momentum with that move to the downside on that drop here, and the other push we got on Friday here, and I think we got a clear divergence. What's interesting about it is that they are both happening in oversold conditions, and the trend line is relatively steep, so it doesn't leave a lot of room to actually push the price to the downside. So my opinion, and that's based on what we've seen the week before with the quote report, where we've seen quite logically the managed money increasing shorts, reducing their long, but still they holding major net long didn't actually slash this massively, and as we can see, we're still having other traders piling in with long positions. So potentially on that move we got last week, that could have been there, squeezing some long position here on the weaker ends to the downside. Left to be seen if the managed money did actually start reaccumulating, or if it kept on actually reducing their long position. Both are of course possible, but I believe for now the downside is relatively limited, and that divergence is going to play out probably to the upside. Now the question is, can we actually time that bottom? And the answer is, of course, as usual, that timing the bottom is always very difficult. If we switch on the 1 hour, we get a bit of a better view that the price is capped by the 20 MA, so that's going to be the challenge moving forward. So we're having that divergence on the 1 hour as well, that is pointing with a very steep angle here. And as we can see, should we go for another touch, and I think we will, we are very likely to break lower than 35, revisiting 35.01 something, or 8. So ideally I would like to revisit that level for good, 34.6. That would be a nice long entry. I wouldn't be shorting at that level. If we do break the 34.5, I think we're gonna see some very catastrophic drop on the market. That will be hard to catch that kind of drop or crash, simply because you don't know if it's actually a false breakdown or an actual continuation to the downside. So be really careful shorting from here anyway, not shorting against divergence regardless. So I'll be looking at long entry potentially on Monday if we can get a decent drop here, but I could be expecting as well that we might actually go and visit the 20 MA again. That will probably continue to drop something like this, so we could see potentially above 36 early next week before seeing another drop to the downside. So that one might actually get a little bit tricky. We'll need to be a little bit careful with the entry point here, not to get caught on the wrong side. So yeah, that's about it for WTI. That's the plan for next week. No more short, but looking for long position. I mean, in terms of the target, we're still having that trend line that will be capping the price. There's another one running just above it, and of course we're having 38.5 that will actually put some serious resistance to any move to the upside. So I guess the potential to the upside is probably a little bit limited. but I think a revisit somewhere above 37 is probably likely. If we need to clear that divergence, we are pointing exactly to that level, so I think 37, a little bit above, would be a decent target. I don't believe we're going to see anything major. A break revisiting the previous range is unlikely, and we are likely to stay within that range for the coming days, potentially weeks, and yeah, between 35 and 38 is probably a fair range. So yeah, that's about it. I'll do another check midweek on Wednesday night. I'll probably be doing that check that time live, so I'll call for a session, so it's a little bit more interactive, and I'll do the analysis. You can ask questions if you want, and when go into details if you have anything that's unclear about the plan moving forward. Thanks for watching, and I see you around. Cheers, bye.